Hey guys, welcome back to the Bits and Grind. And today I'm going to be giving you guys my 2026 NFL predictions. Now, I did give you guys my early predictions back in May, and some of these predictions may change, especially now because I went through every single game of the season to predict every team's record. Now, if you guys want to see a video on how I think every team will do in this season, you got to like that video and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe if you want to. And then I'll show you guys my predictions for every single NFL team. So for my first predictions is the NFC East. In last place, I have the New York Giants at 7-10. I think the Giants they're gonna show flashes to be a good team. I just don't think year one of John Harbaugh is really is ideal, and they're not gonna look that amazing this year. But they should be in the next couple of years. It should be a pretty good team. But I don't think year one of John Harbaugh's won't work out, especially because they got to develop, and they have a lot of young players, and they can be really good in the future, but not exactly right now. Third place, same record as New York. We have the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders, they did sign Stephon Diggs, but how big of a piece is he going to be? I mean, he's definitely can help. I just don't think Washington can be that good. Their defense, they may step up a little bit. They did add some pieces, but it's not going to be amazing. Their offense outside of Terry McLaurin, who is getting older, so yeah, Jaden Daniels, if he can work his 2024 magic, then they could be a playoff team. I just don't think this is their year. Maybe next year if they can add more pieces, but the Sonny Styles pick was pretty good, but I don't think he's ready, especially year one. In third place, I have the Dallas Cowboys. So the Cowboys have them going 9-8. A lot of people think they're going to win the division. I don't think so. I still think there's a lot of question marks on defense. And, will George Pickens be the same player he was last year? And, will Dak Prescott regress or improve? Will Javonte Williams stay the same, or will he take a step back? There's still a lot of questions. Most of them really are on defense. Our linebacker core doesn't look that good, or DBs outside of Caleb Downs. It's not that great. I really do like the D-line, but that's really it. Hopefully we can force pressures. I think 9-8 is a okay pick because the offense, they should be fine. The defense should be better this year, but I just don't think they have what it takes to win the division. And in first place, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, it's an even number year, so that means they're supposed to go to the Super Bowl, I think. But I don't know if they will, though. Their offense under first year head offensive coordinator. I don't know how good he'll be. We don't know. And the Eagles defense, I mean, they're pretty solid. And the offense still should. I feel like the offense should be fine. Maybe they'll utilize Saquon Barkley a little more, and the Eagles, they should be fine. They probably should win the division, but in the future, the three other teams in this division, they can be pretty good. So Eagles gotta watch out. Starting with the AFC, we have the AFC North. In last place, we have the Cleveland Browns. Their quarterback room is Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders. And you could put Dylan Gabriel in there too if you want to. But this team is not going to be good. Why they are improving their record from last year, I don't know. They could probably beat some bad teams. But they're the Browns. They're not going to be good. They're going to be far away from playoff contention. In third place, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 8-9. Pittsburgh, they're gonna continue being mid until the end of time, I guess. Because this team, they're pretty fine. I mean, they did get Michael Pittman and improved a little bit, but they just look like the same team as last year. Mike McCarthy, he won a Super Bowl in the past, kind of like Mike Tomlin, and they're Aaron Rodgers. He's hyped, I guess. His former coach is back in business. His last season, he should be solid, unless he tears his Achilles on the first play of the season. But Aaron Rodgers, he should be solid like he has been last year. So should the Steelers. They should be mid. The defense should be okay, I guess. And They're just mid. They're like the definition of mid football team. And in second place, the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, unless Joe Burrow hurts his toe again, they're probably gonna win 11 games because they're pretty good. They did improve on defense, but they're running back the exact same offensive line, and I don't think that went too good. I'm pretty sure it didn't. Yeah, Cincinnati running back the exact same offensive line is not a good choice. And I could see them winning 9 games again. But I think they can win 11 games. I think their defense can help them out this year because in past years it's just been Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. But now they actually have a half-decent defense. So they should be better. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a lot worse because of their offensive line. Because if they can put you in like third and long situations like in every drive, it's hard to get first downs, and that could probably cost you a game. The defense is not extraordinarily good, but it should be serviceable, and it should be playoff caliber, especially considering the offense they have. In first place, unless Lamar Jackson and the entire Ravens team gets hurt, the Ravens. They should go 12-5, because they're one of the best teams in football, and favorites to win the AFC. Are they going to win it? Probably not, because, the Ravens, they're the Ravens, and they choke in the playoffs most of the time, I believe. And they should still be good in the regular season. They have you could say, let's say top 10 defense on paper. They have guys like Roquan Smith, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, maybe the best safety in football. You got a lot of guys there. And they should definitely perform for you, unless they all get hurt again, like I said. On offense, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. It's the same trio, and one of the most dangerous trios in the league. But, the Ravens, as long as they don't get hurt, they should be a pretty good football team. Next, we have the NFC North. And last place, I have the Minnesota Vikings. And the Vikings, they're everyone in this division, they should be pretty solid. Last year, I predicted every single team in the division have a winning record, and I did. And they did. I don't think that will happen this year. I just don't think the Vikings, they should be fine, but they're just one game out of it. It's not a big deal. Kyler Murray, he should be pretty good, but I don't know. We don't know how Kyler Murray will be. For all I know, he could win 12 games, but I don't know. Maybe he'll be good, maybe he won't. But, yeah, we don't know. The Vikings offense, they should be good, though. Yeah. All of this really depends on Kyler Murray. If he's good, then the Vikings will be good. If he's bad, then the Vikings will probably be mid. In third place, we have the Chicago Bears at 9-8. A surprise to most. Some say they're probably going to win the division, take a step forward. I think they're going to take a step back. They have a little harder schedule this year, and they lost a couple pieces. They did add some players, but they did lose people like Kevin Byard, who got 7 picks last year. They were really good in turnovers, their defense. But they're probably going to take a step back this year, like most defenses do when stuff like that happens. And Caleb Williams doesn't have a true wide receiver one. Is their wide receiver one going to be Luther Burden or Rome Odunze? Both of those guys, they're not over the top amazing. They're pretty fine receivers, but they're just not that good. If Luther Burden or Rome Odunze could take a step forward, then that would be good. They could probably win more games. But their defense, they have a couple question marks. I like the Dylan Theismann pick, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Colson Loveland, he should be pretty good though, and Cole Kmet, he could get traded. And second place, we have the Green Bay Packers. The Packers, I think they're gonna be fine this year. They're not gonna have Micah Parsons for the first half of the year, but I think it'll be okay because the Packers, they have a pretty easy schedule between them. They have to play something like the Jets, the Bucks, the Vikings may be a little tough. They have to play some of those teams, but they should probably win those games. And they probably lose a couple games. They do play a lot of games at home to end the year, which is really good. A really good stretch for them. It's cold in Lambeau, and that's exactly what the Packers need. They could win the division. I just don't see it. Lions 12-5 in first place. This might be a little high, but I feel like the Lions can be really good, especially on offense. Jahmyr Gibbs, as long as he doesn't get hurt, knock on wood, can be extremely, extremely good and really difficult to stop, like he's been his entire career pretty much. If he can take another step forward, then he may be the best running back in football. But if he plays the same as last year, that's still fine. Jahmyr Gibbs, an amazing back, and their offense is really good. If Jared Goff can play fine again, their offensive line there's still question marks about that, and their cornerback and their DBs, they have not been playing well. Brian Branch is injured at the time of recording this, I believe, and Kirby Joseph may miss the entire season. But their D line, led by Aiden Hutchinson, should be fine. Linebackers should be good. But yeah, this team, they're pretty balanced. I feel like their Super Bowl window is closed by now, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll shock the world. Next, we got the AFC South. In last place, we have the Tennessee Titans going 5-12. Should the Titans be 5-12? Probably not. I feel like they could win more games. But I think, based on the schedule, they win 5 games. They probably could win more games, for all I know. But, the Titans, they spent a lot of money on mid-tier guys. They spent a good money on Wan'Dale Robinson, John Franklin Myers. Maybe pretty big signing, actually. But, Cam Ward, hopefully he takes a step forward in year number 2. And with a new head coach, Robert Saleh, and pretty much a new system, Robert Saleh, Brian Daboll, this Titans team, they should be solid. They should be like the Saints. They're probably not going to win the division, but they're going to be they're pretty good. Well, not pretty good, but they can be good in the future, let's say. Third place, Indianapolis Colts. I have them going out 7-10. The Colts are not going to be that good. How is Daniel Jones going to look coming back from an Achilles tear? We don't know. How is their defense going to perform? We don't know. A lot of questions marks for this Colts team. They're getting older, I guess. So, yeah, they paid Michael Pierce. Wait, what? Alec Pierce a boatload of money. And he's like a good deep ball receiver. You have Josh Downs, pretty solid wide receiver too. But this team, they have a good amount of question marks all over the team. And they're not going to be good. The Colts are usually a mid-football team. And that's what they're going to be this year. Second place, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, 10-7. The Jags, I think they're going to regress a little bit this year. The hardest schedule. And they didn't really improve that much this year. But the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen, I still think they can be a good football team, winning 10 games. The defense should be pretty solid. But first place, I have the Houston Texans going 12-5. 12-5, that might be a little bit high, but hear me out here. The Texans defense, I think it's the best defense in all of football. They have an incredible defense, and I think the defense is just going to carry them. I mean, C.J. Stroud, he's going to be solid, I feel like. He hasn't been absolute dog water, terrible. But most people only think of the divisional ranking versus the Patriots. He was solid even before then. Yeah, he could perform better in the playoffs, but he should still be a solid quarterback. They have Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. Was it Dalton Schultz? I don't know. But, he should not be that bad. I mean, you could argue their offensive line is the problem, and it probably is. But give him, the Eagles or Broncos offensive line, he could flourish. But the Texans defense, they're going to carry probably because they're just so good. They may actually regress a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston wins 11, 10 games. But I know. Based on the schedule, 12 games works. Next, we have the NFC South. In last place, I have the New Orleans Saints at 6-11. I see some people think the Saints are going to win the division. I don't think so. Tyler Shuck, he looked pretty good last year. Towards the end, where he beat teams like the Jets, the Titans. He did beat good teams like the Buccaneers, but I don't know. Can he perform versus those big games like versus the Lions? I think they played the Lions this year. The Ravens. Can they beat teams like that? I don't know. Especially they have question marks on defense, and they just have a lot of question marks. How will Tyler Shaw play? Will he regress or will he take a step forward? We don't know. And especially their defense, they have a lot of question marks there. They don't have those top tier guys like some of the other teams in the league have, and they just have a good amount of question marks. Their offense in the future, they should look great. Chris Olave, Jordan Tyson, and Travis Etienne. So they can be pretty good in the future. I don't think this is their year though. But if you look at the division, they could really win it because everyone looks like they're chosen. In third place, we have the Carolina Panthers at 6-11. I think the Panthers are gonna take a step back, mainly because of Bryce Young. I just don't know how he's gonna play. Is he gonna perform good? Is he gonna perform like prime Lamar Jackson? Is he gonna perform like Jamarcus Russell? We have no idea. Their defense looks like they improved with Devin Lloyd and Jalen Phillips, though those contracts are a bit pricey. And injuries have been occurring and changing teams, like Nick Scorton. How is that gonna play a role in this Panthers team? Their offense looks pretty good. Will Tedero McMillan regress? There's just a lot of questions marks about this team still, and they could win the division for all I know, but who really knows? In second place, we have the Atlanta Falcons at 7-10. The Falcons, they're a really interesting team. They're like the same thing as the Panthers, but first of all, who is their quarterback going to be? Because at the time of recording this, is it going to be Tua or is it going to be Michael Penix? And, we really have no idea. Both quarterbacks have not played that great ball in the past few years. Tua, especially, he hasn't been playing well. And, they have a pretty good team. They're kind of like in a Kyler Murray situation. Like, if the quarterback plays good, they could probably win the division. If not, then they're probably going to win 7 games. And in first place, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, they have aging players, but I think they can still win the division. Their defense definitely is going to regress with the loss of Lavonte David to retirement. And Chris Godwin, he's been hurt a lot in the past few years, and how is he going to play? Is he going to be hurt still? We have Emeka Buka, who's a pretty good wide receiver 2, if you ask me. He could be the wide receiver 1 by the end of the year, for all I know. But none of these 4 teams in the division are really good. Not going to be that good. But I think the Buccaneers do have the edge because everyone else, they have a lot of young players. The Buccaneers have experience. Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin. They have some guys like that. Tristan Wirfs, Vita Vea, he could be traded. At the time of recording this, he's not. If he is, then I don't know. The Buccaneers will win some more games and they won't win the division. But I have no idea who's going to win this division. But that is it for the NFC South. In the AFC East, we have the Jets and Dolphins going 3-14. These teams are interchangeable. I think they could probably split the season. They both suck. Geno Smith is no good. The Jets probably should be higher, though, because they have some talent. The Dolphins only have Devon Achane, and you could argue Jordan Brooks, all-pro linebacker. But the Dolphins, they're not good. I could see the Jets winning 4 or 5 games, but the Dolphins, they're going to win like 3 games. They're tanking for Arch Manning, probably. But they did sign Malik Willis, though, so I don't know why would they go for a quarterback. But, let's say you have the number 1 pick. Would you just not take Arch Manning or Dante Moore when they're right there, even though you have Malik Willis, because he's not looking good? Even though they don't have a good team around him. I would take one of those quarterbacks and develop them. And the Jets, they're the Jets. They're not going to be good. So, these records are interchangeable, but they're both going to suck. In second place, the New England Patriots, 9-8. I can see the New England hype train in the future. I just think they're going to regress a lot because they have to play good teams this year. Like, they already have to play the Bills twice. They have to play teams like the Chiefs. Did they play the Rams this year? I don't think so, but they have to play good teams. And, like, the Broncos. And hopefully Bo Nix will actually be healthy. So, yeah, I think the Broncos will be really good. We'll see in a second. But, I mean, even with the signing of A.J. Brown and improving, I don't think they're going to win their division. I mean, I think they could win 10 games. But it's going to be tough for them, especially because we don't know how they're going to look against good teams. Drake May did not look good against those good teams in the playoffs. He did not look good in the playoffs. So, who knows? The Patriots, for all I know, they can win 14 games again. And in first place, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Bills led by Josh Allen. They should be good. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. And James Cook. This is Josh Allen, James Cook, and DJ Moore on the offense. And they can be a pretty good trio, especially being carried by Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in football. And he should lead his team to 12 wins. I feel like they can win the division over New England. I think this is their year. Are they going to the Super Bowl? Probably not. I have no idea who's going to win the Super Bowl. But, who's going to make it up to the Super Bowl in the AFC. But I did predict them to make the Super Bowl last year, and they obviously didn't. But the Bills, they can still be a pretty good team because, like, they've been the past 8 years. But Buffalo, yeah, they should be back in the playoffs. They could fight for the 1 seed, but, the Bills, they're going to be a good team like they always are. And opening into a new stadium, maybe that could just spark something and they could actually win it all. And lastly, in the NFC, we may have the best division of football, the NFC West. In last place, pretty obvious, we have the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, outside of Trey McBride and Budda Baker, you could argue Paris Johnson and a couple other guys, have zero talent. And I guess they don't also have Jeremiah Love. But this Cardinals team, they are not good. They have Jacoby Brissett to start the year. Carson Beck may get some playing time. This Cardinals team, they're tanking for Arch Manning or Dante Moore. They're not going to be anywhere close to contention, and especially with the hardest schedule in football, playing teams like the Broncos. The entire NFC West, too, which any of them could probably win the Super Bowl if they're healthy. I'm looking at you, 49ers. But they have to play the Broncos. Do they have to play the Chiefs? I don't even know. They have to play a lot of good teams, and they're not a good team. Anyways, in third place, the 49ers 11-6. In May, I predict them to go 8-9. But now, after looking at the schedule, they could probably win 11 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they win 10 games. I think they're probably going to get hurt again a lot because their players are getting older, and people like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, if they can survive just one whole year and play 50% of how they've been in their career, then this team could be pretty good. And especially because they're getting some young players. They got Osa Odighizuwa from my Cowboys, and he can probably perform well in Shanahan's scheme. And Brock Purdy, I think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in football this year because he's just pretty good. I think I'm a little higher on Brock Purdy than everyone else in the league. In second place, we have the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Why they're not in first place? Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the Seahawks, they should be pretty good. I mean, they did lose pieces like Tariq Woolen. They lost Kenneth Walker. They lost a couple guys. The only question I really have for the Seahawks is the running back situation, and maybe the offensive line. How will the running back situation go without Kenneth Walker? They have Jadarian Price and Zach Charbonnet, he just tore his ACL. But how will they perform? Will they replace Kenneth Walker's production? And the defense, they may regress a little bit without Tariq Woolen and other guys, obviously. But they still should be a pretty good football team, but they should be back in the playoffs unless the entire team gets hurt. And in first place, we have the LA Rams for obvious reasons. You could probably skip them, but what's the fun of that? The Rams added Jalen Watson, Myles Garrett, probably the best player in football, and Trent McDuffie onto already a stacked team. This team is only getting better. And for all I know, Aaron Donald could be coming back. So, this Rams team, they're pretty scary. And they could probably just win the Super Bowl. And they probably should, because on paper they're the best team in football, unless I don't know, Matthew Stafford gets hurt and the entire team gets hurt. But the only question mark I really have for the Rams is their offensive line, because it looks pretty fine, but it could be better. But the Rams, they're gonna be good. They're gonna make the playoffs. And the final division, the AFC West. Last place, I have the Vegas Raiders. They're going to start Kirk Cousins for most of the year. Fernando Mendoza may get some playing time, but this team, they still have a lot of holes, and I don't think they're gonna be that good this year. I mean, they could win 5-6 games if Mendoza plays well, but they have played one of the toughest divisions in all of football, so it's going to be difficult. The Raiders, they have Max Crosby. Yeah, they did improve a little bit, but they're not a good team. In third place, we have the Chargers going 8-9. I don't think the Chargers are going to be that good. I mean, their offensive line outside of Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater isn't too hot, and it could struggle with the run game if they go HB dive, because their guards are not the greatest. And their defense, they still have question marks. Khalil Mack is getting older. How is he going to perform? Derwin James is getting older. How is he going to perform? Just a good amount of question marks. How will Justin Herbert do without a true wide receiver 1? He doesn't really have one. You could say like Ladd McConkey. How will he perform? Will he have a big step in year number 3? We'll have to see. But Justin Herbert, he should still be a solid quarterback. He could fight for MVP because, he's Justin Herbert. And he usually succeeds in situations like this. Oh yeah, they also have Mike McDaniel now, he could really help. And the Chargers, they could win even more games. I could just be hating on them. And number 2, we have the Kansas City Chiefs going 12-5. I think the Chiefs, I think they can be really good. But it all depends on Patrick Mahomes. How is he going to perform? Like, if he doesn't look good, they could probably win 9-10 games, because their team is pretty solid around him. That's how the wide receiver. They signed Kenneth Walker to a deal, which can pretty much help them, and they could probably spam HB dive. Well, they have a pretty solid offensive line, but it all really depends on Patrick Mahomes. They did lose Trent McDuffie, so the defense may take a step back, but they did kind of replace him with Manson or Delane in the draft, so it kind of cancels out. But how will his production be missed? How can they make his production come back? And they're the Chiefs. They're going to be a good team, and we should probably know that. And in first place, the Denver Broncos. The Broncos, they kind of got better. I guess they signed Jalen Waddle and almost maintained their defense. They did lose John Franklin Myers, which I feel like could be a bigger hit to their defense than most people think. But their defense, they're still going to be good, but John Franklin Myers, he did contribute a lot. Was that a fluke year? Who knows? The Broncos, hopefully Bo Nix looks good after that ankle injury. Kind of in the same boat as the Chiefs. How will their quarterback play be after their injury? But, the Broncos, they should be a good team. Their defense will probably do a lot of the heavy lifting. Their offense should still be fine. And now they have Courtland Sutton and Jalen Waddle, which is one of the best wide receiver duos in all of football, in my opinion. But that is all of my predictions for the NFL 2026 season. The one thing I will do is tell you guys my Super Bowl prediction. I think it's obvious. We have the Rams going to the Super Bowl. They're just the best team in football. And out of the AFC, let's see. I think the Broncos can make it to the AFC. Out of the AFC, will they win the Super Bowl? Well, we'll see. We could have a preview in week 3. I think the Broncos do upset the Rams in week 3, but the Rams, especially in SoFi, I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl. It's probably gonna be maybe comfortable because they're a lot better than the Broncos. Right? But I could see the Bills, Ravens, or even Chiefs make it all the way. I think the Rams beat all those teams anyway. But But before you say I'm boring for picking the Super Bowl favorite, I was debating if the Rams were gonna make it to the Super Bowl. I'm thinking about that. Like maybe you could see the Eagles upset the Rams in the NFC Championship. I think the Rams win that game though. But that will do it. These are my NFL 2026 predictions. We'll check back at the end of the year, hopefully, to see how we do. And see if I'm genius or if I'm just dumb. But make sure you guys like and subscribe if you want to see my predictions game by game. And I'll probably post it eventually. But see you guys in the next one.